Hello and welcome to the channel, YouTube world. I want to discuss with you my personal experience with both the Scarlett Solo and the Scarlett 2i2 and how they're different more than what you've probably heard on YouTube. Right away, they both have the same 24-bit 192 kilohertz. The Solo has one preamp, the Scarlett 2i2 has two preamps. What does that mean? You can only record one instrument at a time here. On this one, you can record both channels at the same time. Instrument input, 1 on the Solo, 2 on the Scarlett 2i2. Analog inputs, 2 for each. Everything else is virtually the same. On paper, it's the same. Now let's get into it. You like that? Side by side? Nice high resolution picture rather than me trying to hold them up and trying to show off because I had to return my Solo. So the Solo is on the left. You've got one XLR and 1/4-inch jack instrument input. These are combo. They can either be a 1/4-inch or an XLR, hence the 3 dots in the circle in the middle. They're a combo jack. I think they're called a dynamic input. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Not a lot of people mention this. So the knob over here is actually only for your headphones. So I recently got a pair of studio monitors, right? And instead of always having to turn them off when I want to put my headphones in, all I got to do is take that monitor knob and turn it down and then keep my headphones at about 10 o'clock. Whereas on the Solo, your monitor knob also does your headphones at the same time because I have a 1/4-inch to a 3.5-inch adapter. There, one of these, so that you could put your headphones in here. That's a 1/4-inch. You could get these on Amazon by the company Ugreen. You get like 2 for $5. You plug that in, the hole right there, and you can listen to your headphones. It's awesome. It's wicked. So that's a big thing right there. Being able to separate your overall volume from your headphones. Because when you turn this down and you have your monitors plugged into the back there through the the back of the Scarlett, like I said, this will not affect your headphones because it's got its own knob. Just in case you were wondering, yeah, it does both, but will this still affect that? Well, no, because that wouldn't make any sense. Just in case you're wondering that. When it comes to direct monitoring on the 2i2, you can actually do mono or stereo. So when I play guitar with my head rush through the Scarlett, because it's technically a mono instrument, I actually put it on the mono and I get both speakers. If I put it on the stereo, I only get sound from the right speaker. I'm just sharing with you. Now here's where it gets interesting. As you can see, I've got a Shure SM7B microphone. I do not need a cloud lifter, no matter which one I'm using. Here's where it gets really interesting, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I have to put the gain at about 3 o'clock on the Solo. If I go any higher than that, well, my microphone would start to get kind of loud, and it would start to light up yellow that I'm starting to clip at 3 o'clock. On the 2i2, I can crank it all the way to 5 o'clock, and I'm still in the green. It's amazing. So there's something about the interior. I don't know what it is because I'm not a tech-savvy sound engineer kind of guy, but the sound is cleaner at max gain. It's absolutely ridiculous. Same thing when I plug in my head rush in the guitar. At around 11 or noon for my guitar with the instrument button on, which is like a dB boost, at about noon, I'm starting to slowly go in the yellow when my head rush is also at noon. On the 2i2, I'm able to crank that gain closer to the 2 or 3 o'clock mark and still have the head rush at the same setting. So that's not a coincidence. Also, the knobs, when you turn the gain knob here, this one here, turn the monitor here, and that knob there, well, mind you, that knob's not on this one. It just feels snugger, tighter. It feels better. It's almost like, and I might get some hate for this, but I don't care. It's like comparing Epiphone to Gibson, even just like the toggle switch and turning like your tone knobs and all that. There is a difference. The Epiphone one feels a bit looser and flimsier, And the Gibson one just feels, I don't know, it just feels nicer. Uh, so it's like beyond just that's a real 2i2, and that's kind of like really essentially, for the lack of a better term, it's like a one input, hence the Solo, right? Um, like it just feels different. It's slightly larger. Like I know the picture's not really doing it justice, but this one here is a tad bit bigger than the Solo. But it just feels better, and like I said, I can crank it more. So to me, that was huge. I didn't know this going in. I just thought I was going to get, the separation of my direct monitor speakers and then my headphones volume separately, but it was more than that. Like I said, the Cloud Lifter, the only difference that ever did when I tried one for a couple of weeks was instead of having my gain at around, let's say, 3 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock, I was able to leave it at like noon or 1 and still achieve the same volume. Get it? So, yeah, the Cloud Lifter made it that I didn't need to crank the gain as high. But what difference does that make even when you're editing if there is no distortion, there's no artifacting, there's no nastiness in your sound? If that makes any sense. Again, I'm not a sound engineer guy. I'm not saying Cloud Lifters are garbage. I'm saying if you have this microphone, Shure SM7B, and you have a Focusrite Solo or the 2i2, you, in my humble opinion, you just don't need it. I listened to my recordings and played them back, and I was like, there was literally no difference other than I didn't need to crank the gain as high. So, anyways, getting a little off topic. So that's it there, and then obviously these ones are gonna each have an air and an instrument because you could put your mic and or guitar in either one, right? Whereas this one, obviously, you have to put the guitar in here, you have to put your microphone in there. Yeah, so just overall as a package deal, and if I was rich enough, I would do it for everybody that's looking to get a Solo. If I could, in a perfect world, I would pay the difference for you to get the 2i2. This is about 240. This is about 180-ish, 170, 180. That's about 240. So yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but even someone like me who's poor, I would tell you to figure it out. Wait an extra paycheck. Work the corner an extra, evening. Even though you probably only do weekends. Do it on a Wednesday. You'd be surprised. Make that little bit of extra money. I truly believe that this is a superior product, not just because of the actual real two inputs with the two preamps. I feel like the preamps inside are actually better, even though on paper they're the same. To me, that's huge. Like I can't even tell you. And then the whole just like feel of the knobs. I don't know. It can't be a coincidence that you've got 3 physical knobs on here and all 3 feel looser. And on this one, you've got 4 knobs and they just all incrementally the same, if that's the proper use of the word, all feel just snugger, smoother. Like, I don't know. Anyways. So that's it. That's my comparison. That's my 2 cents, if it's even worth a penny, on the differences between the two of them. So if you have any other questions, again, I'm not an expert. I can only go by my hands-on experience with this and how, had I known then what I know now, I never would have bothered with this, right? Because I ended up having to go to Long and McQuaid's. I had to trade mine in. Then I had to pay, the difference to upgrade to this one. That cost a little bit, right? Had I just known that, I would have bought that. I had the money at the time to buy this, but no. Even the guys at Long and McQuaid were like, no. You're just doing it. No. You don't need that. That's just, it's just a 2 there. It's separate. They didn't even mention the separate headphones, and they're just like, it's just a real 2 inputs, and that's essentially the same thing. It just means that you've got to put your mic in here and your guitar in there. And the guy was really nice, though. Don't get me wrong, but I think he was distracted and he didn't quite get into how this is quite a different unit than this one. So I'm going to wrap it up. Otherwise, I'm just going to feel like I'm rambling on, running around in circles, re-narrating what I was already saying. If you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It greatly helps the channel. with the algorithm and all that, and actually promoting my channel overall, and Google going, yeah, okay, let's bump them up a notch in the algorithm chain. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down, and I'll just put you in like a thumb lock, and I'll just snap it. But not too hard, though, because I need your hand intact for future videos so that you could still click on the like button. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, I mean, naturally, that would be well appreciated. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, boys and girls, or whatever it is you identify as. And, well, hopefully I'll see maybe at least some of you in the next video. Bye now.